Hola, Kona. Buenos días.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Good morning.
Good morning.
¿Estás aprendiendo español?
Mi español es poquito.
Muy
Poquito.
poco.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Buenos
I learned
días.
I learned Spanish as a child from my aunt. She married a native of Mexico, my uncle, and so my cousins are multinational. They have American citizenship in Mexico. So I kind of grew up with it, and then I studied Spanish in high school and college.
Ok.
So it's my second language. Pero es poquito.
Lo suficiente.
Bonjour, B.
Hi,
Good morning,
bonjour,
B.
hola,
Buenos días, Jacques.
buenos días.
Buenos días, Juan.
How is your
So,
recovery from your surgery?
Actually pretty good. I'm being lazy and I'm not wearing my glasses, so I might not be able to see so well during the session because I now have nearsightedness. Yeah, that's what happened when when they fixed my eyes. I didn't realize, not nearsightedness. I mean, like, when you need like reading glasses.
Yeah.
So I thought I was okay, and then after the procedure, I realized, oh, I can no longer see anything up close.
Oh no.
Well, because I was so nearsighted before, I guess that was why I could read anything up close.
Yeah.
And so now I can't. And so now I thought, oh, I'm doing pretty good for my age. I still don't need like, reading glasses.
Oops.
Nope.
Oops.
Anyway.
Good
Good
morning,
morning, good
Martha.
afternoon. Hi, how
morning,
are you?
Marta.
Hi,
Hola,
Martha.
Marta.
Good
Hola, B.
morning.
Wait, hoe gaat it?
Dit gaan verskriklik goed. Baie dankie.
I
That
only
sounds like
understood the thank you at the end because it sounds like
I know
German.
it sounds like buy a donkey.
that's what I was
So
gonna say. Did you just tell her to go buy a donkey?
Mhm.
It just reminds me of the German danke, which is thank you,
yeah.
right? So, okay.
Good afternoon. So you can see better now.
I was just explaining that I can see a lot better. I told them not to
Wow.
correct me all the way, but I'm really close, it turns out. But I now need reading glasses. So I can no longer see up like very close anymore. And I didn't realize that.
May I just ask, why did you ask them not to correct you all the way?
Because I still want to wear glasses. I'm just lazy today.
Okay.
I
Thanks.
feel more comfortable with glasses on because I've worn them
Yeah.
since I was 11, and I
Ah,
feel more self-conscious without them, but I'm just thinking, well,
Wow, thanks.
I trust you guys, so I'm less self-conscious.
We love you so much, B.
Oh, that's so nice. Thanks. I love you guys too.
Love for everybody here, but yes, love.
yeah.
Just definitely love you. Thank you for feeling comfortable with us.
I
Yeah,
think we
that's
are
a big
all.
thing. I'm a very self-conscious person, but anyway.
Yeah.
I would not have thought that up to today. Sorry, Jacques.
Really? Oh,
No,
okay.
I have a question for Juan. Do you know if David will join us or not today?
I don't
I
think
think
so.
not.
Yeah, I also think not.
Ah, okay.
I thought he sent an email that said that he would not be with us
Oh,
for a while because of his
excuse me.
commitment to immune.
If you'll excuse
Okay. B, did you read the transcript of the last session? Where
I didn't have a chance, but
okay.
I did read briefly through Juan's really nice document, but not in
Because
detail.
okay, because Sondjah through Kona made a very clear statement of our mission and how we can handle this syllabus.
Right.
Yeah, so it's just 2 pages long or 3 maximum.
Okay. Oh,
But
okay. The
it's
one that
very
was
nice. No,
just
yeah.
okay.
He told us that there is nothing. What we have to do is to concentrate on what he said, the life, to start with,
Right.
but only on look at value, the value of life.
Mm-hmm.
Not too much the physical aspect, the technical aspect, but just
Right.
value that can bring life.
Right.
So that was quite a
Okay. The gift.
clear direction. Huh? Very
Okay.
clear
The gift of
direction.
consciousness, in other words, awareness, being who we
Yeah.
are, that kind
Yes.
of like,
Yeah.
rather than like, you know, physical, biological life.
Yes. Voilà. He said all values that are valid across the universe, not only for us, but all
Right.
the universe.
Yes, that makes sense.
It makes sense, yeah.
Well, I mean, the values are divine values, and they don't change.
Exactly. I did myself some search, and Juan also did a lot of search.
Okay.
And I've
Yes,
used
I see that.
Chat GPT, but I have used mainly the Jesus Ask. Ask Jesus Shabbat.
Yes, I'm familiar with that. The Center of Unity.
From
It's the
Center
Center
of
of
Unity.
Unity's chatbot. Yeah.
Yeah. I contacted them to know where this chatbot is looking for, on which document, and they told me they are looking mainly on Urantia book,
Yes.
but also outside the Urantia book to challenge a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, and they told me also that they are working on a new version of an AI chatbot.
Okay.
Okay, and they proposed me if I want to test this new version with them.
Okay.
So I say yes, why not? We will
Okay.
see
That's
where,
good.
because it's happened like an opportunity for me and us.
Yeah, they actually what did they do? They so they're active on a web page that I'm an admin on. They're the most active, other than me posting Mission Urantia transcripts, not the business one, but the other one. But they often post on that. And when they first introduced the chatbot, they actually put it up and asked people to use it and give them feedback before they finalized the current chatbot. So I'm sure they're looking for people to test it.
Yeah. When I compare the ChatGPT and the Ask Jesus Shabbat, the later the CFU one is better, far more better.
Okay. Okay.
The first one is very general.
It is. It is very
Yes,
general.
Ask Jesus. They bring info like about what is life and who brings life, and they speak about life careers. The others they can't.
Okay. Yep.
And they speak about life comes from Mother Spirit.
Okay.
But it's the source is God. So it's much more better.
Well,
We
the
have
source of
lots.
Mother Spirit is God too, right?
Yes, of course. But yes, Kona.
Hey, I was going to make a suggestion about how to continue, but 1 second, I'll be right back.
Yeah, we wait,
Okay.
Mart.
You don't mind, please just go ahead. Sorry, we're in a
Okay.
payment. I have to process some payments. I'll be 5 minutes. Thank you.
Okay. So maybe we have to do, we can start with a prayer together in one mind and one spirit, because I think we need to open the electrical connection between us, as Sondjah have said. So, dear Sondjah, dear Makiventa, dear celestial parents, we bring together today another time, Friday, to work on this project Syllabus, to work on this project of Family Learning Center. We want to concentrate our effort to do the best outcome for the maximum of the Urantia population for future generation. We are humble to work together, but we are very keen to join our effort, to join our skills together, to bring something very powerful for future generation. May we be inspired today by the celestial who are joining us in this event, in this session, because we know they are here. We don't see them, but we are confident they are back up us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jacques. Can I make one little comment?
Yes.
I don't know when it was either this group or the Mission Urantia group. Someone mentioned that, or maybe it was Maki Venta, mentioned that the Mission Urantia group has its own circuit, its own spiritual circuit that was built for us. And I think it's the same with generally people in the teaching mission. I had a weird experience the other day when I found out, like, what's his name? Somebody prominent in the TM mission died recently, and I forget his name. He was a TR. And Deborah Goldman.
Jim Cleveland.
That's right. Jim Cleveland. Right. That's it. That's it. And I'd never met the man, didn't know what he looked like. But when I read the news about his passing, I suddenly was filled with this, I don't know, upliftment, right? Because that sometimes happens to me. I get these weird, out of the blue upliftments. I guess the best description would be around my heart and solar chakra areas. And it just seemed really powerful. And it just happened right after I was thinking about Jim Cleveland. And it occurred to me that maybe we all have our own circuits, right? Like, I mean, maybe we are already encircuited. And I'm just curious about that. Then after that was when I read that there was a separate circuit built for Mission Urantia. I thought, oh, it's interesting. So it kind of almost like a synchronicity for me. I don't know.
I missed that message about sorry, I'm having a mini family emergency. I'm trying to have a where was the message about there was a circuit for Mission Urantia?
It's either it probably was one of the Mission Urantia sessions, you know, the ones that alternate with the business meeting.
Right.
I
think it was one of the
remember hearing
recent
that.
ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I read somewhere that said something about a circuit, right? And I thought, okay. Maybe that's a question I'd like to ask Sondjah today.
What
I don't know if it's
tell you,
relevant, really.
What I can answer to you is if I compare, for example, the Divine Sanctuary Foundation, they have also a circuit of light. They call it lattice of light when they pray together. And the celestial, Jesus itself, confirmed that it is a sort of circuit between these people when they pray for this activity. And my feeling today, for example, we, Friday team, have also our own circuit when we work together for this activity. I think there are many circuits, but maybe Kona is well aware about this circuitry with Donna as well, was a circuit through the ICC community with the women. I feel this has many circuits waving together, interlacing together. It's my feeling. Maybe Kona.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I just that whole never occurred to me that we had our own circuit. But if I also recall correctly, that circuit doesn't just operate when we're together, it operates all the time. If I'm not, I have to go find that where I read that.
Please do.
We can ask Sondjah today. Because we have
curiosity question.
No, it's not.
I hope Kona is not too distracted to let Sondjah in.
That's okay. Oh, by the way, Martha, I wanted to let you know how I thought you did incredibly well as a TR. I had no,
Oh, thank you.
I,
That's so
I
sweet
was
of you.
like,
Thank you.
wow, I didn't know that.
Thank you.
I think I'm like the only person here that has no future plans to be a TR.
Yet.
Yet.
Oh, I don't know. I'm too much of a perfectionist and doubt myself. I don't think I could do it. I think it would be mostly me. It's my personality. I,
Okay, so shall we
anyway,
start?
okay, let's
Kona,
yeah.
you had a proposal to say how you see we can handle the subject of syllabus. It's what you were saying.
Yeah, I was going to make a suggestion. Kind of what was in my spirit is that we collaborate and have a discussion on the values of life and the other values that may have come up in that search. And if you were in a position of teaching people about the value of life based on your knowledge, based on the Urantia book, based on your life experience, based on the teaching mission, magisterial mission, what would that look like? And just begin to share and explore what that teaching of the value of life looks like to each of us here so that we can kind of maybe just explore what that looks. I mean, just explore really, because we all come from different backgrounds and situations, and the research that we've done is different. So maybe it would be good to just to share a little bit about how we're thinking about those things. That was going to be my suggestion.
Okay, that sounds good actually.
It concur with what I had in mind, because the same for me. I'm doing searching. I read my searching, you know, all these documents. I put them in print format. But when I go through, there are many items which could be part of the syllabus. But my question was, now I end up with 24 pages and Juan ended with 6 pages. So it makes more than 30 pages where we have many data there. But how do we put this data in a format, in a teaching format? So I had this question as well, because I start to highlight the words, highlight some sentences, but how to put this in together? Maybe
I
we can.
like Juan's approach actually. In the first document that he sent, because my understanding of a syllabus is from like say a university syllabus, like it's like a course outline, and it also also states expectations of the course, how one might be evaluated in the course. So to me, a syllabus is more of an outline, and like in the way Juan had formatted it. But the real teaching would be like a teaching manual for the instructor, which is, I don't know, that's my impression of how what a syllabus actually is. Sorry, Martha?
I try to find the one from Juan.
Yeah, I agree with B about, just the simple thing that Juan had shown us before, showing the expectations and outlines. I also think that we should continue with the tree of the values and trying to figure out which values are linked to which values. To try and, because 98 things that are unrelated are not as useful as having a few dimensions and they all fit into there. Or if we were going to use the 7 minimum values and the 3 truth, beauty, and goodness, but to try and summarize it in a more concise way.
Oh, for
so that our
sure.
tree makes more sense.
Yes, but Martha,
That would be part of the teaching manual.
This is another exercise, Martha.
Yeah.
And I think that what said Kona is, how do we see, at least for one word like life, how do we see to progress and to build up a training or a syllabus just for this word? It will maybe give us direction for the rest, for the association of word. You see what I mean? If we have an idea how to explain life, what would you explain in a family learning center saying, what is life? So there are many questions, and I can share the document from Juan first. Let me check where is sharing. Partager écran, voilà. You can see it. Oops, too big, too small. Voilà. You know, that's the first question. What is life as a core value? This is one question, but there are many more. And how do you answer the first question? How do you build up a syllabus or a training manual from this? Yes, B?
Mm.
You know, what is life as a value? And myself, I have asked several other questions.
This is amazing, by the way. I don't know how you guys do this.
You know, these are all the documents I've prepared myself. You can see it?
Yes, we can.
Okay. And
I don't know,
yeah,
maybe you should
I
stop
have
and
asked.
share again. We still
Yeah.
wait to seeing
Okay.
TM archives and Dino.
Okay, you can see it, this one?
No, we're still seeing the
Right.
same one. The
You see
TM one that says we can see TM
okay.
archives and in dinal.org.
Okay.
That's the page that we
So
see.
wait.
So you have to stop sharing and share again.
Okay. So, okay, it starts
Okay,
by
now
the
we
same. So developing syllabus subject life. I use the one document. I put here what was said by Sondjah. Look at life as a value, not as an object. Quality of life as a value, not at a material side. Look at the value and their impact on the seventh sphere or human existence. It's what more or less he was saying. And then after I ask many questions like definition of life, nature of life, what is life, who gives the spark of life, why you have been given this life, this mortal life. This is more material, I think. Is life an energy? Is linked with material aspect. So I have asked, I don't know how many questions, but a number of questions. So do we continue this way?
I can
To
start by
produce,
answering these questions.
yeah.
Oh,
Do
many
we
of them
continue?
overlap.
Yeah, sure. But the answers also overlap. That's normal.
Like who gives the spark of life and who is the source of life, to me is the same.
Yeah, but they said in the Ancient book, the source is God, but the spark of life is Mother Spirit through God, of course, but still Mother Spirit.
Okay.
And they say when you give life, so men and women create life together in a sexual act, then there is a third partner called Mother Spirit.
Right.
Which is not known. And in my view, this should be part of the family learning center.
Oh, okay.
No? Is it too
no,
much?
it just occurred me what was meant by spark of life. Okay.
This spark of life is described on several documents, and for example,
Okay.
they say here, they say life carrier can organize the material form or physical patterns of living beings, but
Right.
the spirit provides the initial spark of life to bestow
Right.
and
I understand
mind
what that means now.
Yeah.
What they're referring to is we're electrochemical beings, like we're physical material, but our how we operate on a material level, how our bodies operate, is
Yeah.
electrochemical. So we're like a very complex electrochemical system with then a surrounding magnetic field. And the spark of life is probably like the first, like, because without actual, okay, let me go further. So at the cellular level, in order to start, say, an electrical signal at any part of the brain, you need an electrical event to happen across the cell membrane. And nobody really knows where that is initiated. It's initiated by our thought. Like when we think about it, something happens. But I think that's what they mean by the spark. Somebody has to, you know, I guess, start the engine for us when we're, for life. Somebody has to actually spark the engine for the
Yeah.
activity to keep going, to get going. So that's how I see the spark.
They say the spark, the exact nature and the source of this life activation spark is not fully understood, but we know that it's flow from the Father through the Son and by the Spirit. It is a divine energy that gives life to all beings.
Right.
So,
okay. So it might be more than that.
Yeah. So if we answer this question and other question, if we have to create a syllabus, in my view, we would create the syllabus from this question if we validate all the question, and from this source we can find on many documents, like this one. You see here, for example. Is it something you view, or is it something which you have another vision?
No, this is very reasonable to me.
I just have one question. Thank you. I find it, and maybe also it's the way my mind works, I find it very difficult to think that we're going to do this 98 times for 98 different words. Now, for instance, with what you've shown me, the 7 things that stood up are the, physical, mental, emotional, the 7 dimensions, up to spiritual, social, cultural, spiritual. What B has just mentioned about the cellular level, the electrochemical, the magnetic, I almost want to condense. I think we can't just say, well, we're going to do this for 98 words. We have to find something succinct that allows, because most people, I've just been under for a training. I have a book here, a training manual, but almost everything was done in role play for all of us to understand over various different teachings, be it conflict resolution or so. I think we have to think not just the way we've been doing the research of looking for more and more information. We have to somehow bring it all together. And the idea, I think what B just said is so important, is what do people know about life? What do they know about how life is created, the sexual act, electrical magnetism, etc., and then kind of build around that, including those 7 dimensions of human development. So, and also we have to decide, are we going to describe the whole Urantia book? What is the relationship between the Urantia book and what we're going to teach in the syllabus? But the syllabus has to be much more flexible. You almost have to mind map the syllabus rather than us doing it by words alone. As you said, we have 30 pages on one of the words. So I guess my mind my mind is struggling to see how we're going to interest people in pages and pages of script unless we have a way to organize it in a much more useful and
Yeah.
I don't know if Juan's hand was up. Sorry, Juan, I
Yes.
just saw
Juan?
hand up, Juan.
Bueno, los estoy escuchando y me parece razonable lo que dicen. Pero yo tengo una idea acerca del sílabus y es la siguiente. El sílabus no solamente debe hacerse para los que son enseñados, sino también para los que van a enseñar.
Absolutely.
Debe haber un manual de enseñanza para maestros y un manual de lecciones para alumnos. El manual de maestros se le da todas las instrucciones de cómo deben estructurar las clases, qué lecciones usar, qué ejemplos usar para tal fin. Vamos a suponer que van a hablar van a enseñar sobre compasión. Él conseguirá un formato ya hecho con todas sus normativas de cómo enseñar compasión. Los alumnos tendrán entonces un libro de texto donde estará desarrollado todo lo que es la compasión con ejemplos, ¿verdad? Ya sea en cualquier formato que haya. Yo creo que es la forma de ver las cosas de ambas partes, tanto del maestro como del alumno.
Marta, do you mind to translate a little bit, because I'm not sure the caption was so good.
He was just saying that, of course, there has to be two manuals, one for the teacher and one for the manual of lessons for the students or the learners. Yes. And for the teachers, you'd have to put all the background of how you should be teaching and what should be behind that, the lessons that are to be taught.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
So
the
yes,
basic
I do agree.
That's the basic for the teaching, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, B?
B's hand is up.
Yes. Yeah, so I completely agree. So I don't know if anybody saw my email, but after Juan released his syllabus, I thought, okay, you know, does anybody, are people here familiar with the Course of Miracles? Even if you haven't read it, it's structured as in, it's like a sort of a Urantia book, sort of like, so it's a document. It's a very long document, and then people have actually come up with a workbook, right? So I guess I'm just trying to draw a parallel. I think that's a good way to organize it. Like we'll have a syllabus, which is like it's just basically an outline. It's not an extended, prose document, right? It's sort of like in point form. And then we could have a instructor's manual, as Juan mentioned, where we don't have to, we can summarize, like obviously, like Martha said, we can't have all this, is too wordy. So what we can do is summarize it and then build references, right? So at the end of whatever we want to discuss, you list references at the bottom, and you can list them by number, and you can even number it like the way they do in books. To know, like, in other words, if you want to read more about this, here's the link, or here's the book, here's the website. And then, so that would be a second part to it. And then third part would be an actual workbook for students where you could ask, we could be like asking questions and have people maybe reflect on answers. But I don't know, maybe that's too unstructured. At least
No,
like
it's clear. B, it's clear.
You know how the the ACIM, if you look at the workbook, It's actually kind of helpful. It makes you think. Like, I haven't read ACIM. I think I read the first chapter and that's it. But then I looked at the work manual. And I thought this is actually kind of a good idea. But anyway.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. But
Um,
Marta, yes, you have a yes, Marta.
Thank you. No, thank you. I'm getting excited now because I guess because our brains work. So I'm just thinking again about how we started in the beginning and said there were three categories, which is research from the social sciences, interviews, best practice interviews with parents, with best parents, Eskimos, wherever, Chinese, Japanese, Western, etc. And then the research from the celestial messages. So already we're saying there's a syllabus. This syllabus depends on three different categories of information. The interviews that we still have to do, the celestial messages, and the best practices in social science on parenting, for instance. So I guess my mind wants to categorize things first and say, and then if we say, but the Urantia book is the source of all this, how does obviously the Urantia book then goes directly under the celestial teachings. So then we'd also need a similar kind of understanding and explanation of the social science best practice. We'll have to go back and from the beginning of human history, have a little summary that says this is how people have thought about parenting. These are the major books about parenting from the year before Christ, etc. And so I guess my mind just wants to say, okay, now that I have the outline, now I can see that what we're working on now is the part that depends on celestial research. So I guess that now my mind is more happy.
Yeah, but then you ask another question, Marta. Do we have to do the same work for each word? And personally, I would answer, yes, we need to search through the interview for wisdom. We need to search in the UB wisdom. We need to search wisdom in the TEM archive. And we need to search wisdom in best parenting practices. So this would be this, in my view, would be sort of this one, the teacher book.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big book. It's a teacher book. It will be the ultimate support. But how the curriculum will be structured, I think it will start just by questioning people. If you do a course on life, you don't start by I don't know how you speak in English this word, but it's not a formal presentation by a stand-on teacher. No, it starts by questioning the people. What is life for you? Mm-hmm. And then we learn the story. Because we will have a script of the teaching, but we will ask just question with example. It's how I see it. But still, I think we need to do this search for each word. I don't know your opinion, B or Juan or Kona.
No, I agree.
Okay.
I just don't think it needs to be, we can organize it in a way that's not overwhelming.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like all of these things that you've listed can be summarized.
Yes.
And if somebody wants to delve deeper into the topic, then they can go to the references and read the documents themselves.
Yeah. Kona's hand is up.
Kona's a question.
Yeah, just very quickly, because I'm trying to multitask. Did you talk about how, and I understand if I heard correctly that 98 words all done like this is overwhelming, but have you looked at like what we talked about last week, is choosing the words that are similar and relate to, and then look at the tree and incorporate these into the one syllabus? Did you say that?
Not in that detail, but no, we said for each word, but you're right. We need to minimize also the research because some words are related. And Juan already they are related, and already Juan made a list of words and their relationship. So this exists a little bit, and we need to work more on this, but we have some direction
Well, I see
there.
I see the tree as just a diagram in a book. Like if you were to write a textbook, you know, it's better to use words and diagrams. I think, unfortunately, UB doesn't have any diagrams. And if they did, it would be very helpful, but I think it's very hard to transmit diagrams. So, I do think that the tree diagram is very critical, and would probably be like an outline, like it's something visual that you can see, and it would be in the beginning of an instructor's manual or whatever. Like that would be the starting point, I think, from which discussions could start. Like you would see the tree and how things are related, and then you could approach it conceptually, depending on, like, say, well, okay, we're going to do this branch, and then organize all the items, discuss those that are related, and then go to another branch. And so we can do visual and words.
Yeah, Kona has ends up.
Yeah, as you were talking about that, and you reminded me of a textbook, in my many years of teaching different subject matters, even the biology book reminded me that, one chapter is going to have many vocabulary words in it. And the vocabulary words are explained and described in relationship to each other. So if you have, even in biology, when we talked about life, when we teach kids about life, there's all of these other words about life that are related to that word, and you teach in conjunction. So even with the syllabus or a textbook picture, and even with the tree, you have, we talked about that. So this branch is going to be one concept and everything around it. And those are like chapters. You don't have to have one chapter for every word. You can put them together and explain them together relative to each other, and be very practical and pragmatic about this.
Yeah, that's exactly, you described it better than I did, but that's what I meant. Like you chunk it out, like, so in a textbook, it would be a chapter, and within that chapter, you would discuss the values. Like you could organize it as, 1, A, B, C, D, or something like that. Like we can discuss it in a chapter. How do I say this? So each value would be described, but we would, and described and discussed, but it would like be organized into like a similar like branch, like one branch system would be that one chapter. Anyway, you said it better than I'm agreeing with you.
So this is all about the relationship we have to create. Yes, Marta?
Thank you. I just wanted to mention again, I think I mentioned previously, in a family development model that the Chileans designed, they have 53 indicators, but only 7 dimensions. And so the 7 dimensions are personal identification, housing, health, employment, income, family dynamics, but all the indicators fit into these 7 dimensions. So I think that the tree is more than just an illustration, that it has to help us organize the whole course. Somehow we have to look at all the words, because at the moment, breaking them apart, we don't see the unity. When we look at them all together for long enough, we'll start saying, oh, interesting, this goes there, that goes there. And I think that will allow us to organize our own minds and the course very powerfully. So I guess I'm saying at some point we have to look at them all together until the vision emerges, because by separating them, we're not seeing the connections between them. And then we'll be doing a lot more work than we might have to do.
I agree. Oh, where am I? Oh, my hand is in the way. Oh, yeah, no, I it's like, where did I go? No, I completely agree with what you said, Martha. It's, yeah, like that's what we have to do. And I was thinking about how to organize the tree, because there's you could do a tree without the roots, or you could do, you could do tree, the branches and the roots. There's so many like different options. Like, so what are people thinking? Should we have a tree that reflects above and below? Like, I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like the tree part, and then the mirror or whatever, the reflection would be the root system. I don't know what people think about that. And then the other thing is, how are you going to so what Juan did was put humanity at the base of the trunk. So that's one option, to put one concept at the base of a trunk. Or the other concept would be, like, so if life is the center, should we put that as the base of the trunk, or should we put that at the bottom of the roots? Because really everything stems from that, I guess, right?
We have said that life would be the trunk.
Okay.
Yes, Martha.
May I also just said, I was just thinking, what we were told last time by Sondjah is that these are values that almost teach us to become our souls to grow. So in the sense, all these values are meant to teach us to be godlike. So they take us from animal more and more until we're angelic and then godlike. And so life is the single most important one. So if you put them in a continuum from animal to angel, for instance, and you say, so life would be the first one, then, maybe quality of life, whatever. But if we could also look at it, so all these 98 values are meant to teach us to become godlike over time, or teach our souls. And is there a way that we can then put them in a certain order that would make sense? And how do they fit into the other one, the physical, emotional, mental, until the spiritual? Is there a link between those 7 dimensions and these values? I'm not sure. We would have to work with them to see.
Yeah, we have to work with them, but I'm sure we have to. If I take the word from Maki Vanta, what he said is something like link them with the human. I would say, yes, human, like emotional and spiritual, and human. What, how do they call it?
Yeah.
Human.
The human development, the dimensions of human
Yeah.
development. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
The social, cultural, spiritual.
So I have shared the words general list, compiled list.
Okay.
You can see it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Maybe if you can make it a little bit bigger, is it possible for you to make it a little bit
Okay.
bigger? I'm
Yes,
just going
I
to-
can. Oh, yes, sure. It's after we lose.
Okay, that's it. That's perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it is what you said, started from animal to going through our, I would say, eternal career.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's interesting, but here we have to also be very careful. And I don't want myself to put in the front the Urantia book, because this is very spiritual, and we need to attract all people, even those who don't trust too much on eternity.
Yeah.
So, but in our curriculum, we need to have this trend toward perfection, becoming godlike, even if we don't mention it at the first day and the first start. Each time we speak about a word, like, I was reading the word responsibility, this one. So the midwife say, you have the responsibility when you, men and women, make a sexual act to have children. It must be conscious. And they say it's a real pity on this planet. This is not, absolutely not the case on nearly, it's not the case at all. So the word responsibility is linked also with procreation. So how do we progress a little bit more now? Do you want that we share the Miro and we start to build from the word love or the word or the words
With life.
with life, with life, sorry, yes.
Did we work with Miro? I was missing one day, I think, when you worked with Miro. Can you work?
Yes.
Should we work with Miro today?
Wait, so how do we start Miro here? Let me check.
I think it's the whiteboard. When you bring up the whiteboard, it should allow you to choose your previous file. And I did a little bit of research on Miro. We can all get a free account on Miro. I'm just not sure that we can collaborate without a paid account. But once we get things settled in Mission Urantia, I'm going to recommend that we get a paid account to Miro that we can work from, because it's not that expensive, honestly.
Yeah.
You need to connect. Oh, wait, let me do that.
I'm just wondering, is it useful for us to try and put all the words we have into the categories of the 7 dimensions of human development, starting from physical to spiritual? Is that a waste of time if we try and do that? Or will it be
See what it looks like. See what it looks like, Martha. I mean, that's what I was talking about as far as just brainstorm and look at it, see what that looks like. It could be a viable way, to teach. And it could be a viable way to teach people who are used to seeing it that way, as opposed to another group who's not.
Yeah, oh, that's true. Yeah.
May I make a comment?
Certainly.
Those 7 dimensions, I don't know if you would agree with me that some of those are personal, like an individual, like mental development, emotional development. They're relating to one person. Some of those are also like cultural. That's actually more of a social interaction. That's not an individual thing. So
I agree with you. Absolutely. If I may
I don't know
just
how we would categorize them if they're not exactly uniform, like those 7 dimensions. Some of them are individual and some of them are inter-individual.
I thought it's exactly that, because in the words, they're words like self-esteem, which refers to one person, and they're words like non-violence, which only refer to being in contact with other people. So maybe that's already something that we can say one is only for individual and one is for individuals and others, so that we could first try and separate the words in 2 categories, those that only relate to individuals and those that only relate. So I like what you're saying.
That's actually a good start. Maybe we can start with 2 branches, and then if we need to make more branches, we can make more branches.
Yeah.
So that's probably a good approach, because otherwise it just seems like a big web.
If I may quickly show something to you, if I'm just
Yes, Juan.
Ok. Bueno, ustedes están familiarizados con la Wikipedia.
Ya.
¿Saben lo que es una Wikipedia? Una wiki. ¿Saben lo que es el concepto? Bueno, es un sitio donde se exponen conceptos, es como un diccionario inmenso, grande,
Yeah.
Mhm.
pero no solamente es un diccionario, es también un libro de referencias. Cuando hay un párrafo y hay una palabra que está ya incluida en la Wikipedia, hay una referencia que la lleva, al hacer un clic, lo lleva a esa palabra.
Mm.
Yo me imagino que el syllabus tiene que ser algo parecido a Wikipedia,
Mhm.
algo muy parecido. Y también, si nosotros lo queremos hacer en sólido, físico, eso va a ser un libraco, pero así, grandísimo. Un
Mhm.
libro muy grande. Yo supongo que el espíritu ya nos ha puesto en el camino para hacer las cosas de otra manera, diferente,
Mhm.
¿verdad?
Mhm.
Ya nos puso en internet, nos puso en toda esa tecnología que no va a desaparecer nunca, sino que va a mejorar cada día. Yo diría que debiéramos estar pensando ya en los conceptos, en las palabras, las 98 palabras, e irlas ya haciendo una web o una base de datos con toda con toda esa información, porque físicamente nosotros no vamos a poderla manejar. Es mucha información.
Mm.
Eh,
I
yo,
like that.
yo lo que les he estado enviando son ejemplos de lo que podría ser, de cómo podría ser. Como les dije que no era algo perfecto, tendría errores perfectibles, pero que casualmente en nuestras reuniones sirvan para eso, para ir definiendo lo bueno y desechando lo malo. Sacando lo bueno, desechando lo malo. ¿Qué es lo que funciona? ¿Qué es lo que no funciona? Ahora, ¿por qué debemos comenzar, por ejemplo, con la vida, con el valor vida?
Mhm.
Porque yo me imagino que Marta, Jack, Kona, son seres divinos que provienen del paraíso. ¿Por qué nosotros tenemos vida y otros no tienen vida? ¿Por qué? ¿Cuál es la razón de que estemos acá? ¿Quién nos dio la vida en realidad? Pienso que fue nuestro creador que nos creó allá en el paraíso, una chispita. Es parecido a un cuento que hizo eh, John Morris, John Morris,
Mhm.
que lo expuso hace como 6, 7, 8 meses, de alguien que fue enviado, y creo que cada uno de nosotros fue enviado para acá, y nos dijo, mire, ustedes tienen que volver acá, pero para volver acá, tienen que aprenderse 98 palabras, valores, para que vuelvas a estar conmigo. Tienes toda la eternidad para que lo hagas. Pero como sitio inicial, te voy a dar el planeta Tierra, porque es el planeta que está más dado para tener más experiencias. Es la forma de verlo yo. Y la razón por la que se comienza la vida es por eso, porque si no tuviéramos aquella chispa que nos dio la vida de verdad y después nos dio un cuerpo, no estuviéramos haciendo esto acá. Es mi idea. Después podría traducir a ellos más o menos la idea principal.
Yes, Kona.
See,
I understood Juan pretty well. And I love that you talk about us being a spark of paradise, you know. The thought occurred to me, and I love your idea of the Wikipedia type of thing. But as I was listening to you, I'm reminded that we're supposed to be going through the transcripts, that they're in the teaching mission is everything that we need to complete this mission. It's all so we've gone to Chat GPT and we've gone here and we've gone there, but we're supposed to be pulling the information from the teaching mission, as I understand it,
And they
rather
they
than
do
all of
that.
these other sources. So if the Chat GPT or whatever we're using is pulling it from the teaching mission, then that fulfills our goal. But if it's pulling it from other sources, then we're not. Because the teaching mission, as it was stated to us, the syllabus is in that, and it repeats itself every 2 years over the 15 plus years that it was given. So I would really like for us to stay focused on getting that information, because I believe that our ultimate goal is to write it out as it was given to us through the celestials. We're not reinventing the wheel. We're not recreating, something that doesn't exist. We're literally compiling it from documents that exist. And I don't know if that will help us refocus, or if we are on that focus, or if we've lost that focus. Can you guys speak to that maybe?
I think, Kona, we keep this focus. Myself, I search in the teaching mission, but I search in your book in parallel. But we have many more information in teaching mission, for sure, the transcript. I don't know, Juan, I think is looking at the same thing. Yes, Marta?
No, Juan does. No, I think both of them absolutely are looking at the teaching mission and the DINAL and whatever. So all of that is happening. But there definitely were 3 categories from the beginning. The one was the interviews. The second one was looking at social sciences. And the third one was the celestial teachings. So we
And
were
best
supposed to
practices.
do all 3 of them.
And best
Okay.
practices as well.
Yeah, so the
I
best
thought that was
practices are what I call the interviews. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that was
So
in relation to the family learning centers and not necessarily the 98 values,
the syllabus.
Isn't the
syllabus.
98 values the syllabus for the family learning centers?
Well, I think it's a syllabus either for it's independent of the family learning centers. It can be used in the family learning centers, but it's not necessarily for that. So in other words, when the teachings were given and the syllabus was given, it wasn't given through the teaching mission just for family learning centers. It's given as a syllabus for life, as an understanding, as a syllabus for life. But now that you've answered that question, let me just finish this thought before I get distracted again. The Wikipedia is a great idea, and what you've set up in the document, each person can make a contribution in just like Wikipedia, so there's multiple authors for Wikipedia, where there's a basic that is put in, there's new information that is attached, all of the references are cited below. And if you begin with Google Docs or something like that, where everybody can contribute, we could begin building a document like that, as Juan has suggested. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
I'm not aware of the editing process for Wikipedia. So is it just that multiple people go on, like somebody writes it and then another person changes it? Like how is there a consensus? Like how is a consensus reached in terms of what the final document looks like?
It's always a work in progress, is from what I understand from Wikipedia. And I don't know that there's quote unquote an authority, and we could research this. We don't know that there's an authority that says, well, this is the right information. But this group could certainly figure out, you're a design team, figure out what that looks like for us and what it looks like for that type of a document. You could set some parameters, you can say, let's look at this. Do we agree upon it? I mean, you can certainly create your own Wikipedia or, magisterialopedia
Right.
kind of thing.
What I can confirm is Rob Davis built a DNI institute based on the Wikipedia Wikili, he called Wiki, I think it's a program. So he
Mhm.
built his own. He's able to edit himself, he's able to do everything. But I don't
Right.
know how it works. Maybe Juan knows. Juan, do you know how to use a program like Wiki to build a Wikipedia sort of database for us?
¿Preguntas?
Sí, para ti, si tú sabes cómo construir un wiki.
Totalmente.
Yeah.
Hay varios software para eso.
Mhm.
Hay varias opciones. La que usa Dynals es una wiki.
Yeah. Okay.
Lo que pasa es que Dynals es una wiki de transcripciones.
Mhm.
Nosotros vamos a hacer una wiki de valores.
Okay.
No solamente 98 valores, sino ahí estarán las biografías y las referencias de cada persona, ¿verdad? Este, todas las
¿Cuáles
referencias ahí
personas?
estarán hacia otras
¿Cuáles
páginas
personas?
web, ¿no?
¿Cuáles personas? Which people? Sorry.
Por ejemplo, celestiales,
Oh.
los celestiales, quién es cada celestial, su presentación completa, siempre se hará referencia a cada concepto, el concepto que ha dado cada celestial acerca
Mm,
de ello, ¿ok?
okay.
¿Quieres ver más? Haz clic aquí y busca más información. Eh, Hacer una Wikipedia no es nada difícil, solamente que tenemos que controlarla. No todo el mundo
Mm,
puede hacer cambios,
mm,
porque si fuera así, imagínate cómo fuera Wikipedia ahorita de errores.
mm,
Eh, por ejemplo, tú quieres mejorar la Wikipedia, tú escribes sobre ella, tú escribes, pero hay unas personas que están observando lo que tú haces y leen la cuestión, y si es una información errónea, te la borran o no deja que cambies.
yeah. So it's an editor. You have an editor.
Ellos le dan la autorización, sí,
Yeah.
actualízase.
Yeah.
Entonces, así podemos hacer un consejo de revisión todo el tiempo, de control. No, cualquiera no va a escribir alguna sandez y ponerla ahí. ¿Ok?
Yeah. And
Entonces,
But yes, B?
Yeah, may I say something? I didn't catch all of that, but I just wanted to clarify that a Wikipedia, a wiki. Okay, so a wiki, to my understanding, is a format where it just speaks to, I think, multiple people getting together in the same space to perform a task. Whereas the pedia part is that it's supposed to be an online encyclopedia. So I think, yeah, I think there are more than, I think the wiki softwares, there's Wikipedia, but there are other wikis as well that you can make. If you use Wikipedia, their software, you have to contact them. There is there's a link where they show you if you want to, like, for instance, I think Rob Davis would have had to go to Wikipedia, make a proposal for how he wants to use that software, and then they would give him the tools to build his own wiki, which is what he's done.
Yes, Juan. Maybe Juan has an explanation. Yeah, Juan?
Wiki, que es como se llama el software, es libre.
Okay.
Okay.
Y cuando tú contratas un servicio de hosting, inmediatamente trae esos programas ya para que tú los instales.
Right.
Es como algo como WordPress, ¿eh? Como, como, otra- como, ok, un CMS. Tú solamente tienes que instalarlo, instalarle las bases de datos y listo, y comienza a funcionar. Ahí comienzas a alimentarlo entonces con lo que tú necesitas, la información que necesitas. Como eso se puede compartir el trabajo, se puede autorizar a varias personas para que puedan, puedan trabajar directamente sobre el sitio web. Pero es un software totalmente gratuito, no se paga nada. ¿Ok?
Yes, Martha?
So it's my understanding that if we want to start a wiki for the 98 words, and as Juan says, additionally for the celestial beings and maybe for TRs, so that you'd have a different page for every TR, for every celestial being, etc. Well, that doesn't fit into an existing wiki. This will be just for us in a separate hosting place where people will come and find it. It won't be part of the larger wiki.
It
There
is
are
my
many
understanding.
wikis.
It
Sorry?
is
I
my
thought-
understanding. Huh?
Yeah. Okay.
We cannot be part of the large Wikipedia. We are on our own.
Okay.
Yes, Kona?
Sorry, Kona? Yeah.
I didn't raise my hand, sorry. I was
Okay,
like,
okay, okay.
I was thinking and moving my hands around. You brought up a curious thing, and I'm getting ready to go do a search. I'm wondering if any of on Wikipedia, if there's already any information about any of our people. I'm gonna just do a quick search on Wikipedia.
I don't think so. Somebody
Start
has
with
to write it.
Macedonia.
Yeah.
Oh, I must
Oh,
have
you
been-
mean on the main, the
The
public
Urantia book
access
exists.
Wikipedia?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Urantia book exists. But Juan, because I've used the wiki from Rob Davis, and search for, because he has all the transcript, and discuss with Rob Davis, the search function today of Wiki is very poor.
Mm-hmm.
It works well. You may find thousands of words, but to retrieve these words into context within a transcript, it's a long way through, very long way.
Mm.
And Rob Davis
Yes.
told me he's waiting an improvement of Wiki that will embed AI, artificial intelligence, then it will be better. It means if we go to this direction, we have to think carefully, because it means if we put thousands of documents there, the quick way to retrieve them or to retrieve an item, it would be not so easy, maybe. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Just a thought from my side.
That's true.
Yes,
I
Juan?
agree. Like a lot of, oh, sorry, go ahead, Juan.
Juan, you
Eh,
can go ahead.
Jack, no entendí lo que trataste de decir. Vamos a ver. Sería bueno contactar al señor Davis. David, ¿eh? ¿Sí? Davis. Y que nos sugiera una wiki, porque yo supongo que él habrá usado otras más. Que nos sugiera qué wiki usar. Ahora, en la wiki nuestra, nosotros no vamos a copiar lo que hay en Dynas, que son transcripciones. Nosotros vamos a poner las 98 valores con todas sus interrelaciones con otras palabras, otros valores entre sí. Una wiki en realidad no es para hacer una búsqueda así como en Google. Una wiki es para tener toda la referencia de un concepto, de un sitio, de un país. de un personaje. Ahí se plasma en una hoja toda la vida o todo lo que tenga que ver con la palabra o con el valor. Y con los enlaces hacia otras palabras importantes, que al darle tu clic, inmediatamente te lleva a esa palabra. Si no existe la palabra ahí todavía, tú la puedes crear. Pero una wiki no es un sistema de búsqueda, es un sistema de almacenamiento de información, pero gigantesco, en donde tú tienes referencias de cada cosa. Por lo menos la palabra vida tiene que ver con tiene que ver con la compasión. Entonces, cuando escribes compasión, hay una palabrita, esa palabrita está en azul. Tú le das a compasión ahí y te lleva a la palabra compasión. Así
Okay.
es una wiki.
May I make a comment?
Adelante.
So I think the shortcoming of a wiki from a user's perspective is what Juan has said. So the wiki, any wiki page, I'm talking about Wikipedia. So any wiki, so their wiki, that wiki page in the document, I think one referred to like, yeah, you can have many hypertext links, or I think that's what it's called. But anything in blue you can click on to go to another wiki page, right? Now, the weakness of Wikipedia, in my opinion, is that it can be overwhelming and you can get very, very distracted just by clicking on those hypertext. And it's very, very easy to lose track of the big picture. Like, for instance, if I'm reading an article about, and I have done this, I'm a nerd, about airplanes, and there's, aerodynamics and stuff like that, things that I don't really know anything about. There are lots of terms in there that I don't understand, physics terms. So I will, oh, look, it's highlighted. I can click on that and go to another article. Okay, so I'll read that article and then, oh, there's a word I don't know. Click, click, click. And sooner or later, I've lost track of the original article I was reading, right? So that's to me, that's a limitation of a wiki. It can get you very, very sidetracked easily. So what I'm saying is that I don't know, like to me, it's not the best format for comprehension.
Sí,
Uh,
te invito a que vayas a Wikipedia y busques cualquier palabra que quieras. Si existe la palabra,
mhm,
él tiene un buscador que te va, tú dices, compasión, compassion, te
mhm,
lleva a compassion. Ahora, cuando consigues compassion, todas las relaciones que tenga esa palabra con otras y otros temas y otros, te va a hacer la referencia. Si tú quieres, le das clic a eso y te lleva. Te abre en otra página, ¿verdad? Pero tú sigues en tu misma página tranquilamente leyendo lo que tú quieras. Te invito a que vayas a Wikipedia y hagas una consulta ahí para que veas cómo funciona.
So what you suggest, Juan, is to create our own wiki, putting our own document, because it will be large but not so big, and then everything will be there for future search. We will have our words, we will have the syllabus, we will store the teaching, I would say the courses, and so on, and the video, this kind of thing. You think we can store it on sort of a wiki page? It's what you said?
Sí, la Wikipedia es para almacenar toda la información que estamos teniendo ahorita. Ya, ya te has fijado que es bastante extensa.
Kona, you want
Cada
to comment?
palabra, Jack,
Oh,
cada palabra tiene una página aparte. O sea, no están son una, pero no están mezcladas. Cada concepto es una página diferente con sus referencias. ¿Ok? Es algo muy sencillo. ¿Cómo es que Wikipedia pudo crecer tanto en tan poco tiempo? Por eso mismo, porque tiene muchos colaboradores, ¿verdad? Pero tiene un cuerpo de personas que controlan la Wikipedia. Todo el mundo dice, escriba lo que quieras, pero hay un cuerpo censor, o sea, que censura cualquier cosa que no vaya con los principios de la página. Si es algo erróneo, si es una fake news, cualquier cosa. ¿Okay? Ellos evalúan bien antes de darle autorización para que se publique.
Kona, you had the comment? You raise one?
Sure, yeah. I think the concept is a great way to organize. It certainly, because we're dealing with language, would be more efficient than say Miro. Miro is great for us to organize our thoughts, but a Wikipedia, and even though you say, you get lost in all of the things, the one thing I love about Wikipedia is that if I go there and there's a word I don't understand, I can hover over it. It gives me a definition. If I want more information, I can go to that page. I mean, for me, that's a valuable tool. And if we're talking about life or love, and we have those words embedded where people can hover and they can get a little piece of what's more, and then they could go to that page if they wanted to. It is definitely a good way for us to organize these things that are so comprehensive. I think it's a valuable idea worth considering. And then again, we can all be contributors to it and enhance, so one of us or two of us write something and another person go, well, that makes me think of this, and we can add to it. And we can always come back and say, well, I'm not sure that I agree with how this was written. Can we restructure it and edit it together? I think it's a valuable suggestion to consider as a working format that at some point all of the information and all of the references are in one place. If you decide to create a syllabus about one aspect of it, you have all the information that you need. Or if you decide to teach from it, you can pull all the information from that place. So it's a great way, I think, to organize the information and then make it available for our future reference. So I think it's worth considering.
For that
Gracias,
purpose, I agree.
Yeah.
gracias, Kona, porque has definido exactamente lo que es la wiki.
I also just wanted to say, I remember that when I was looking up words, I used Wiki for almost all of them because all of them were very beautifully described already. So almost all our words, if not all the 98 words, are already in that existing Wiki. I would just suggest that we put a limit, that we'd say, I mean, Juan was talking about a one-pager. Even if we say 3 pages, or that we say no more than 1,500 words, but that we try and limit it so it doesn't go endlessly, and also that we have an internal logic on every page, that we try and find, once we've looked at all the information, that we see what emerges as an internal logic around which we can create future pages.
Claro,
What I can propose you is, because I have produced these 24 pages, these are the background, these are full document. I could reduce it in two pages or 3 pages maximum, where all the items are there, and then we could choose. So I can do this exercise for the next week. I can try this one. You see?
That's very great of you to try.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Juan?
y hay algo mucho mejor todavía. se puede hacer en cualquier idioma. Aguanta todos los idiomas que quieras introducirle. Ahí se invitan a los traductores para que vayan traduciendo lo que está en inglés, lo vayan traduciendo al idioma que ellos les convenga, que tenga que ser. Es algo, eh, les invito a que revisen Wikipedia para que vean que está en muchos idiomas. Tú buscas la palabra en, en hebreo y te busca en hebreo. Pero claro, ese es el trabajo de toda esa gente que colabora con la Wikipedia. Entonces, ahí podemos matar a muchos pájaros de un solo tiro.
um, it's no, it didn't translate. It said we can get a lot of birds out of The Bachelor. He's saying we can kill many birds with one stone. With one shot, yeah.
Some of the translations are so funny.
True.
I have a question. You said the Wiki software is free like WordPress. And I know that Danel is extensive and requires a server. So then the second piece of that is well, where would we store the Wiki software? I don't know that piece of it. I don't know like how we would all access it. What does that look like? Does it need to be on a website that we can all access? Juan, do you have that information?
Sí.
Mhm.
Hay servicios de web hosting. Hay unos que son servidores dedicados y hay otros que son servidores compartidos. Sé que para una web de estas dimensiones se necesita un buen servidor rápido, moderno, ágil, que permita el crecimiento y también que tenga un buen tráfico, porque de repente en un momento pueden estar accediendo al sitio web 10.000 personas. Claro, eso sería, pero podría ser, ¿no? Podría. Entonces, se necesita un buen servicio de hosting. ¿Eh? Yo supongo que eso, los fondos no lo serán los celestiales, ¿no? Por lo que se ve. Pero es un proyecto muy bueno y ya tenemos un ejemplo, ya lo tenemos, un ejemplo viviente que es la Wikipedia. Es algo que es muy poderoso, tiene mucha información ahorita. Y además que tenemos un aliado muy importante ahorita que es la inteligencia artificial. Aunque yo no sepa de arquitectura, yo puedo dar hasta clase de arquitectura con la inteligencia artificial. Entonces tenemos eso de la mano ahí mismo. No necesitamos ir muy lejos para conseguirlo. Entonces, vamos a aprovechar todos esos recursos que tenemos ahorita para hacer la difusión del mensaje. Adelante.
Yes.
I just wanted to say one thing. While Juan was speaking and saying he can teach architecture without knowing anything about it, I thought the only difference is that there's something that these 98 values have to do to teach us to be different. And because we are trying to grow our souls, we can't, there's something, you know, we were talking the whole time about looking at the Japanese examples of how you take care of older people, pregnant women. There's something that needs to be done to us in order for us to mimic it, in order for us to become better human beings. We have to see forgiveness understand it, and then become the better human being. So there's something about those examples. We need physical living examples around us in order to become better human beings. So I just thought I wanted to mention that there's something that we need to do to mimic or to demonstrate these examples of the 98 values, like from World Cinema. And Juan has a wonderful job of pulling out some examples of certain values and certain films. So I just thought I want to, it just suddenly struck me that there's that link between needing to see something modeled in order for us to become it ourselves, and how
But
parenting fits into that. Yeah.
I think there are many lessons on Facebook. There are some very nice story by the people. The one recently I read was a young man. He was in a classroom and he saw nice watch. So he stole the watch from his comrade. And the comrades come to the professor and say, I lost my watch, but maybe someone take it from me. So he say, we will check. So he gather all the children around him and he say, close your eyes. I will put my hand in your pocket to see the watch. So he go all around and suddenly he found the watch. So he go around, and after a while he say, I have the watch. And he give it back to the children. But say nothing about the one who stole it. 20 years later, a young man came to this professor and say, I am professor today because you show me example. He said, how? He said, you show me that I've learned from you, that I have stole the word, but you never mention my name. And the professor say, but I don't know if you have stole the word because I close my eyes too. So you see the lesson learned here is very interesting because he was showing, he was not accusing nobody. So there are many stories on Facebook and on other places. I'm sure when we start to dig with video,
Absolutely. Yeah.
we will find thousands of them, and we will be guided for
Yeah.
that.
Just a
Yes.
caution, some of these stories are made up, but that's just so you know.
Yeah. But
Many
yes,
of those stories are actually not completely true, but anyway, I just wanted to let you know I am aware of all those inspirational stories, and they are inspirational. You just have to keep in mind that many of them distort the truth somewhat. But if it's used, if the lesson is useful for our purpose, we
yes.
don't have to say it's a real story.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so we
It is
did
a beautiful story.
Yeah, we did some progress. So the next question is, how do we start to build this wiki? Juan, you have an idea how to share this item on Wiki? Because there are two questions. Use Wiki seems easy. It's free software, but it stores the data somewhere. We need to store them. Because we can start simply, but one day, because I think we can store the data on some places, because today, if you have less than 2 gigabytes of data, you can store them somewhere. But do
Well,
you know
there's
where to
free,
store?
there are
Juan?
free cloud storage, but they're public access. But there are some sites that give you free cloud storage.
But if we want to start, Juan, how to proceed? Maybe David has some ideas as well.
Does Wiki host its own material?
Don't know.
I think it
But,
does.
sorry?
Wikipedia, the entire Wikipedia site. I think they are web hosts, are they not?
Don't know.
Juan,
Do you know,
sorry, do you
Juan?
know?
Juan, do you know if Wikipedia is its own web host?
Juan, tu sabes si ellos
no, no estoy
¿Tienen su
escuchando
propio
bien.
servidor? ¿Tú sabes si ellos tienen su propio
No,
servidor?
no. No, eso es algo que uno trata. Igual que como cualquier sitio web. Es igual que Dynamo, igual que Team Archives, igualito. Solamente que hay lo bueno de Wikipedia, la wiki es que más que todo es texto, no es mucho gráfico. Se usan fotos muy pequeñitas en tal caso,
Ah.
pero no, eso uno tiene que contratarlo, porque el software es software solamente. ¿Ok?
Kona, Kona,
Sorry, I
yes.
missed that.
Si
Yeah,
alguien,
we,
si alguien tuviera por ahí un web hosting ahorita, yo le podría hacer una prueba de cómo se hace eso. Yo ahorita lo que pasa es que vivo en Venezuela y en Venezuela estamos muy restringidos económicamente. Y para pagar un web hosting es un poquito costoso. Pero si alguno tuviera un web hosting donde pudiéramos hacer una práctica, sería interesante. ¿Ok?
I don't know how to do, I know that you can do your own web hosting. I have a friend who knows how to do that, but I don't.
Nobody here has their own website that one could try something out with. No.
I have
No.
my own website, but it's a blog. It's a WordPress. It's hosted by WordPress.
Yes,
Juan,
Kona.
¿ese te serviría?
Acepta subdominios. El web hosting acepta subdominios.
Does it
Pardon?
accept your dominions? Does it accept your dominions?
domains.
Oh,
Domains, yeah.
domain? No, I don't have my own domain. It's
Oh,
actually it's actually sorry, WordPress. It's a WordPress domain. I didn't pay for my own domain.
Oh, so it's not a paid one. Okay.
It's not a
El
paid,
hosting,
it's not a paid, yeah. It's a free version because I was just playing around to learn how to build a website using WordPress. So it was just an experiment, but I have a few articles up there. I learned how to do you know, they have like they have an automatic template. So I learned how to alter it so I could like, alter the navigation bar, link pages together in a way that I wanted and stuff like that. So no, I did not pay for my own domain. Because it was just, I didn't like, because I mean, hardly anybody visits it, probably because I haven't done anything. Like, first of all, I haven't indexed this. Like, you have to index the site, then you have to like contact Google, and then Google has to then use your sitemap to crawl your website in order to integrate your web pages into their search engine. So, I mean, I haven't done any of that just because, I could be doing a lot of work and have very little traffic.
Kona, you raise your hand? Yeah.
Yeah, so I I'm doing a little bit of I have web domains and I have domains I haven't created yet. And what I'm trying to see is if like
Oh.
GoDaddy can host a wiki, because all of my
Oh.
domains are through GoDaddy.
Actually, I might
So
have a domain. Okay, go ahead.
so it might just take a little bit of research to see. There's information on Google on how to create your own wiki. GoDaddy, if you have a domain, will host your website, but then
Mhm.
I don't know whether or not it would host a wiki. But so that's a possibility. Because one of you asked if one of us has our own domain. I have a couple of domains.
Oh, okay.
Some
Actually, I
that I'm
think
not
I
using.
had a domain. It was beanadventurer.ca. I don't know if it's still up. It was a play on words of me. But if it's still up, I don't know if I still have it. I'll have to ask.
Yes, Juan.
Y tiene GoDaddy, sí, él acepta subdominios. Lo sé porque yo he trabajado con GoDaddy. Y un subdominio no es algo que se contrata aparte, es algo que uno construye dentro de la web, dentro del sitio web. Y no afecta para nada el sitio principal. Por lo menos tú lo tienes en blog, para blog. Ok, puedes abrir un subdominio que diga Urantia, ejemplo. Y lo que tú alojes en esa carpeta no te va a afectar en la carpeta principal, que es tu sitio web. Entonces, ahí se llega solamente escribiendo el subdominio completo o haciéndolo por medio de un link de la página principal. Podríamos intentar hacer un experimento con eso. Yo sé manejar esa parte. Podríamos intentar.
Would you be willing to do that, Kona? To use your domain to allow Juan to try out a wiki?
Sure. I have two, I think. I have Kona Wisdom and I have Kona Wisdom House, which is my quote unquote publishing company. Let me see what I have. Give me 1 second. And they're just sitting there. I mean, I have a real estate, my real estate is under a different one as well. And then of course I host Mission Urantia. So let me just sign in and see what's here.
I thought Mission Urantia was hosted by Weebly.
No, Mission Urantia, to have your own domain, you have to have somebody like GoDaddy give you your domain. So we got
Right.
our domain name through GoDaddy, but
Mhm.
it's the server is through Flipcause.
Right, but Flipcause uses Weebly as a host.
Whatever they use, I don't know the internal.
Yeah, they use Weebly.
Okay. Let's see. So I have Kona Wisdom House and Kona Wisdom, and I can certainly make a subdomain to either one of those. And, you know, it would go along, Kona Wisdom House would be the most appropriate one. It would go along with my concept for my publishing company, which is to be, you know, it's the Library of Alexandria. It's Kona Wisdom House. It's the place where you house wisdom. So it makes a lot of sense to do that. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out. So Juan, if you had access to my GoDaddy, you could go inside, I think, and start building a website. Is that your capacity? I mean, I don't use it to build websites because that's not my forte. I don't have those skills. I have the domain. I don't know how to build a website. I would love for somebody to build a website.
You can use
You're
WordPress.
Juan,
muted.
ist das in Moodle? Ist das Moodle?
Sí,
Say that
sí,
again.
yo lo puedo hacer tranquilamente. Todavía no has montado ningún sitio web, Kona.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. So what we have said today, we have said many things. So the last one is you open your domain Kona to Juan, and Juan will test a possibility to create wiki. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
We have not progressed too much, but we have said many interesting things. What I propose to do is to condense my first contribution on live so that it could be hosted in Wiki as a short document. And we need also, and we need also, but we have not worked today. I've tried to open my Miro to put the life as a trunk of the tree and make the link is what you suggest, Mark. We need to link the different word together. But this we have not yet done. But we need to do this exercise. Okay. Okay. And for your information, next week I will be not with you. I am traveling to Spain on vacation, and I will come back.
Ah, lovely.
I
Nice.
will just come back Friday night, so I cannot join the meeting. But I
Yeah.
will try to work, however,
Mm.
during the week. It's all what I can do for you for the time being. Okay. You have
Okay,
something
well, that's
else to
exciting.
add?
I think you can definitely do Wiki on a I'm pretty sure you can use Wiki software to make a wiki on a web in a domain. I'm pretty sure you can do that.
And then we can share also what we have already produced, like the transcript, our
Mhm.
Friday transcript. Of course, we have to check if it's a cost for you, Kona. Because if as soon as the volume is bigger and bigger, sometimes you have to pay something. So
That's
we
right.
have to watch,
Yeah.
carefully
That's
watch.
correct. Yeah.
And then otherwise we have to buy a domain by ourselves and share the cost to doing
Kona,
the
do you know how many gigs your domain will handle?
Let me look right now. Give me 1 second. Um,
Oh, it's cold.
let's see. So this website is available through March. I pay again for it March 2025. Oh, I need to update my address. Let's see. Maybe Juan will be able to discern. I know I have access to the free site. I don't
Okay.
know what the memory is, but Juan could probably get on here and get a whole lot more information about it than I can.
Usually
Is that
free
okay
is
with
like
you, Juan? I'll send you my credentials to log in.
And the name, yeah.
Yeah.
Tienes que enviarme el usuario y la contraseña, el password. Es lo que me tiene que...
Yeah, username and password.
Y
It's not.
también, y la
I don't.
cuenta, y
Oh,
la
I
The
do
cuenta.
name,
have.
yeah.
I might have two-factor authentication on it. So then we would have to work together.
Oh, yeah.
Tendría que deshabilitarlo mientras tanto.
Yeah, yes, which would be fine. Because I think I do, because when I had to integrate Mission Urantia into FlipCause, we had to go through that. All right, let me make sure you get this really quick.
Okay.
Cuando tengas la información, me la envías vía email y con toda confianza lo puedes hacer. Le iré mostrando el trabajo que voy haciendo. Como usted también puede entrar, entonces puede ir viendo el trabajo que se está haciendo.
I'm gonna have to come back and listen to and read that because I'm on a different screen.
She just says you can come in and look at the work that he's doing.
Oh, I trust you. I'm not too concerned. Okay, I sent that to you, Juan. Why don't you try to log in to make sure that you can get logged in?
Right.
I'll log out now.
Did you send him the name of the domain as well?
I sent the login information. Let me. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Um,
Jacques,
Yes.
if you send me all the words we have, or maybe just remind me, all the words we have, and I'll have to look even at Juan's. I can try and also look at how they fit together or make some.
Okay. I will resend you the complete file.
Yeah. Okay. Many
You know,
thanks.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so we have 10 minutes left. We'll wait one.
Could we also ask Sondjah if maybe Sondjah wants to make any comment on where we
Sure,
are, how we're doing?
let me see if I can connect. I know I've been a little bit distracted, so let me see if I can connect. Hello, this is Sondjah. I'm happy to connect. Thank you for the invitation. The work you are doing is good. The collaboration is even better. Working together will create much fruit. You each see from a different perspective. You bring a different flavor. You bring different insight from your worlds. You can all contribute greatly to the task at hand and yet still be focused on the ultimate goal. Thank you so much for your time and your dedication to this project. We here on the other side all greatly appreciate it so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Kona. Thank you, Sondjah.
Thank you, Kona. Thank you, Sondjah.
Oh, so his name is Sondjah. That makes more sense.
Sondjah. It's spelled
Yeah, but the
Sondjah. Sondjah.
yeah, but the J, is it like, because in some languages on Earth, J is yeah.
I don't
Marta,
know.
¿sabes lo que traduce cuando dicen Sondjah? Traduce Sandra.
Okay.
Huh? Sanya.
Sandra.
Oh, Sandra.
Oh, I liked Martha's pronunciation. I was like, Sondjah. Oh, okay. I can see that.
Sondjah. But it's,
That's like
this morning.
Machiaventa, putting the extra letters in Machiaventa's name.
Mackie.
I just wanted to-
Machiaventa. Yeah, sorry.
I don't know if you were
Oh.
at the last mission Urantia, I think it's MU11, but somebody channeled Christ Michael, right? Martha, you were there.
Yeah, I was there, yeah.
I forgot to ask him. I've always wanted to ask him how to actually pronounce these names. And if he
I think
actually
it's going to
has a
depend on the
real
host.
name.
I just want to say, I want to
Ah,
show
no,
what
no.
was on Guardian today.
Ooh. Wow.
Sorry, I can't read.
Says
People
people with
will.
commonly auto-corrected names call for tech firms to fix the problem. Right?
For instance, my name often appears as Matthew. Martha, because it's with an E, becomes Matthew. And they were just saying that it's very Western and white. So that,
Mhm.
names like Nigel, hardly anybody is called Nigel these days, but they never
Mhm.
autocorrect Nigel. But a name that's, 2,000 times more common is automatically autocorrected. So it has a great Western white bias.
Mm.
Interesting that you say that, because yeah, I'm trying to finish up my paper from my design thinking class. And one of the most critical things that I learned in this course was from a book called Design Justice. And what the author from the Design Justice is pointing out is that our world is created with a white, male, heteronormative, able-bodied perspective because they're the ones with the most money.
That's right.
They're the primary consumer. And the rest of the population is basically has to adjust to the predominance of these things that are made with the white, male, heteronormative, able-bodied perspective. And that does the whole idea how design is being transformed and what this course design thinking is about is to one, bring our awareness to that very thing, Martha, like you just pointed out. And then also that's where the compassion and empathy comes in, is to listen to the communities about what they want and listen to people with compassion and empathy about that, what they want and need, so that we're not designing with this one person in mind, if that makes sense. So it's been a fascinating semester under Neil Goldberg to bring all of these things to our attention. And so now I'm trying to wrap it up with my final paper, and it's so hard. There's so many things to talk about, but that is the critical piece in moving forward in the world. I mean, the course is called Design Thinking for Social Change. And isn't that what we're doing? We're designing for social sustainability, and that's social change, but we're doing it from the value or from the perspective of core values. And the synchronicity between the two is that he uses compassion and empathy in a design lens, and compassion and empathy are two of our core values. So very fascinating. But yes, the world is designed with one person in mind, and it's going to take all of us to change that.
Well,
But
yeah, it's long
also
been like that because that's where the money is, and that's where the people who hold the power in the world are
Has
that
been.
demographic.
Yeah.
and
And
they I was just
because,
gonna say, they design it.
yeah,
They
and that's
design.
English. How many people on the planet speak English? It's an international language, but there are many, if you add China, India together, they completely dwarf the number of people where English is the first language,
Even
right?
Spanish.
Like, and Spanish,
Yeah.
right? So yes, the world is kind of structured that way, but as a result of that, you have other people who are trying to work against that.
What were
And
you going to say, Martha?
they use censorship in order to accomplish that. Countries
Just
like
because
China and Russia.
But
Yes,
also because what we're saying just now, also at the time I studied women's history in New York and at Sarah Lawrence, and that was the main thing then, is that men had designed the world, so women had been excluded. And then it
Right.
was white males who are designing the world. And even though women are slowly becoming part of it, of course, all the other cultures are still, so it became white women and white men. And so the issue of both patriarchy and white supremacy are considered the twin evils of the world because of how they've distorted everything.
But the rest of the world bears some responsibility because we have followed that, right? And it was never really I think English just became the default language in many industries. Like in medicine, English is the default language internationally. And I know that's
Has
probably the
nothing to do
case.
with colonialism, I'm sure. Nothing to
People
do
have
with
gone
colonialism. I
with
mean,
it, right? People
the
have gone
British
with
didn't
it
take
because it's
over the
easy.
world. They had their foot in almost every single continent, every single continent. And the Americans do too.
And that's
And the
part of what,
Australians.
yeah, and that's that's part of what's causing strife in the world, is that there's that group of people, and then there's other people who are trying to fight against that, right? So, it's a struggle for power. So if there is one very powerful group, eventually there is going to be the people who are overpowered, who become resentful, and then they're going to start a movement again. So that's what's happening in our world right now. There's like pretty much two major camps, the Western camp and the Eastern camp.
And what are we going to do about that, B? What are
Well,
we here to do about that?
yeah, well, we're here to actually identify that these two camps really have common values and that they should be starting their philosophies and ideology out of values instead of just ideology. So if you started with core values to build your ideology, you would end up in a divine place. Whereas ideology on Earth is designed from the very start for power. It
And
is
money.
designed to take over and be dominant and tell other people what to do. There's democracy was a one, you know, it's a step upwards, but really even within the democracy, let's not fool ourselves. There's still a huge, there's still an oligarchy. Come on. You know, it's their job.
This is your platform today, love.
Yeah.
No, but this is the way the world works, though. I mean, that's
But
just
Yeah, we know.
right.
But aren't we being taught about governance for the growth of souls, saying that
Right.
these 98 words are teaching us something that's eternal and that has nothing to do with power, but a lot to do with very, very hard work, almost impossible work.
Well,
try
power
to
is
change
the
self.
Lucifer rebellion concept. Divine
Yeah.
values are not,
Yeah.
right? They're all about collaboration, whereas the Luciferian philosophy is competition,
What about the
right?
self? Yeah, absolutely.
Trying to overpower somebody else because you
Yes.
think you got the answers and they don't. Of course, both sides can think like that, and then we get wars. Anyway.
Thank you for everything.
Sorry, I just had to stand on a
Facilitator.
soapbox for a
Should
while.
we
because
should
I
we
know
have a
this is how the
closing
world
prayer
works.
to go in peace?
Yeah. Martha is
Okay, yes,
very
yes.
good at that. So we listen you, Martha,
Yes.
if you
Yes,
want.
let's do that.
God of universes who indwells our human minds, thought adjuster ours, beloved eternal companion, Christ Michael, Makiventa Melchizedek, our planetary prince, Manjarinson, our magisterial son, Mother Nebudonia, angels known and unknown to us, those without name and number, midwayers, 1111 progress angels, all the other beings of light that envelop us in love and compassion and kindness as we try to make decisions to grow our souls. We thank you for your presence with us. We thank you for the privilege that we are allowed to be part of a group that works with celestial beings. Please teach us to be the best we can be, to let go of the parts of the self that do not serve you or ourselves, and to grow daily through this nurturing love and kindness of our fellow beings that we work with, overseen by you, our celestial teachers. Thank you for all that we've been given in this contact with real celestial forces. Make us worthy of that. We ask this in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, world without end. Amen.
Thank you, Martha.
Thanks for a wonderful session.
Likewise, it's always wonderful to connect with you all.
So next
I
time.
want
I
to
think it'll come together. There's just so many parts of it. It's really hard to organize. That's the challenge, is organizing.
I'm going to
We
try and
have-
organize a bit. I'm going to try and organize, as I understand it, to share and be helped to. It's also Juan's birthday on Wednesday, Juan.
Oh,
Turns 69
Juan.
this Wednesday.
Happy
how do you
early
say that?
birthday. Feliz
Happy birthday.
Navidad.
No, Feliz
Feliz
Navidad.
cumpleaños.
Am I right,
Sí,
Juan?
Paquito, feliz cumpleaños.
Okay.
Feliz cumpleaños para el miércoles, ¿sí? Sí,
Gracias.
señor.
Mayo y 29.
29, sí. Oh, somebody's at the door. If you'll excuse me, there's somebody arriving for
Okay.
supper.
Gracias,
Okay.
gracias.
Okay.
Sí.
Bye
I
bye.
shall
All
speak to you
right,
on your
happy
birthday.
birthday.
Bye-bye.
On
Bye.
your bye. Thank you.
Thanks.
See
Bye,
ya.
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Take care.
See you next week.
Bye.
Gracias.